What if I told you that the $40 billion Terra-Luna crash wasn't just a failed crypto experiment, but a coordinated inside job? And what if this biggest wipeout in crypto history was actually triggered by one of Wall Street's most secretive trading firms, Jane Street? Now, Jane Street वही firm है जिसपे Securities and Exchange Board of India या SEBI ने बैन भी लगाया and उसके साथ साथ उनके 4,800 करोड़ रुपए जब्त भी किए हैं. Today we'll be discussing कैसे एक ऐसी firm that has no CEO and which operates like a shadow commune of mad geniuses quietly makes billions of dollars while crashing entire ecosystems. I have realist Narkundi and Crypto Daddy with me. This is the Baaps of Crypto podcast. Welcome back and let's go. Hello boys, welcome back. हम लोग देख तो रहे होगे. Yes.
Sup with the PlayStation. Sup.
I'm keeping it real.
What up?
वो 64 ब्रीच होने वाला है ऐसा लग रहा है.
Yeah, 64 ब्रीच हो गया है ऑलमोस्ट. कल तो 63 या 60 कल 63 भी हो गया था रात में.
आज सुबह 62 टच किया. 62
Calci पे भी तो बेचारा 40% chance of ETH breaking $1,000. That's the bet on Calci right now.
Yeah, of course. तो ब्रेकिंग डाउन की बात करें तो हम टेरा लूना की ऑब्वियसली आज बात कर रहे थे. And one of the things that has happened and that has come to light is Jane Street, right? And Jane Street is one of Wall Street's, I would say, very secretive sort of trading firms. They have like a very unique setup. And उनके ऊपर Terraform Labs का जो liquidator है, उसने एक लॉसूट फाइल किया है कि इनकी वजह से इन्होंने कुछ इनसाइडर ट्रेडिंग करी थी और उसकी वजह से ये पूरा कोलैप्स स्टार्टेड. So I think like we'll just go straight away to Narkundi. Narkundi, पहले तो थोड़ा Jane Street के बारे में बता दे and what exactly is this lawsuit that everyone's talking about.
So while researching HG, so they stuck out that they don't have a CEO. So that's pretty unusual for a firm on Wall Street, right? That itself tells you like, okay, something's off over here. Now,
so now before the DAO.
Yeah.
Yes.
The OG DAO, bro.
DAO meta log nahi established kiya. So with them, what I looked at was in terms of numbers, it's massive. Like last year, one of their quarterly revenues, net revenue from trading, was $10 billion, which is 2x more than what the ETF players have made in net trading. So they're focusing on high algorithmic trading, proprietary trading, leverage, high leverage. And especially when you have a lot of movement and, asset classes moving up and down, that's exactly the environment in which, Jane Street makes money. Now, Terraform Labs का जो lawsuit आया है, उसमें the core thing that they're saying what triggered the whole collapse comes down to the weakest link, which is Telegram groups. So they say that this is what caused, and then
billions of dollars on a Telegram group. Yeah.
What the thing is that one of the interns of all the people at Terra Labs, he knew about the withdrawal that Terraform Labs is going to make, which they didn't announce. They said it was going to be a V4 pool. They didn't announce it. And right before it happened, that guy conveyed that information to Jane Street and they helped pull 85 million out of it, which just cascaded the whole thing, because in 10 minutes they pulled out the amount from there, which gives some suspicion that what happened, how did they know. So there is some merit to it. I don't think there's especially in crypto, nothing is organic. You can say that there's always some reason behind it. It's not by chance. But this is the background in which we're looking. So no CEO, shadowy, high revenues, algorithmic, crypto, interns, trading groups, insider information, insider trading, if you want to call it. And now you have the lawsuit that's come up.
Got it. Crypto Daddy, obviously, to those time पे बहुत active था और you were like actively following this. So just take us through like exactly what happened at that point of time and what led to the collapse, right?
So basically, it's a Terra के I don't know if you guys remember how Terra was basically making money कि वो अपना US उनका क्या था UST था I think it was or
Yes,
UST right वो
UST.
था and basically what they were doing उसका वो Ponzi type का run कर रहे थे right where the Terra उनका अपना जो token था उसको वो collateral रखते थे UST print करते थे and they used to keep continuing that and वो basically क्या हो रहा था कि liquidity जो जमा हो रही थी सारी वो curve पे जमा हो रही थी उनकी and eventually one fine day I think it was May 2022 उस पे they decided कि भाई let's pull the liquidity out of curve जो pool था and what they did was once they did that उसके बाद एक cascading event शुरू हुआ जो अब तक until we just recently found out that Jane Street was involved अब तक सिर्फ यही इंफॉर्मेशन थी कि बिकॉज टेरा डिड दैट तो उसकी वजह से कर्व पे जो इफेक्ट हुआ उसकी वजह से जो बड़े उनके वो थे इन्वेस्टर्स थे they started pulling out or they started dumping and that was a cascading event which basically led to the start of the crypto winter right until yesterday or day before yesterday when the Jane Street situation sort of came up and now people realize that well you know what like Nakundi said that there was an insider group which basically so there was a group that was not just with it wasn't just insider information they were basically it was a planned coordinated attack so as per the information so far that's coming between Kwon and the Jane Street guys, where you know they were told that they were informed them beforehand कि भाई हम अभी जो है वो 150 million USD जो है वो निकालने वाले हैं. And right after that, Jane Street goes and dumps 85 million worth, and which was basically the kill shot, right? And that is what initiated the cascade. And because इतनी बड़ी like, उस time पे जो volumes थे उसके हिसाब से it was a real nail in the coffin, the last nail in the coffin. वो उसने एक ऐसा cascade शुरू किया that it just started dumping over and over. Now, the interesting thing is how Narkundi said is how Jane Street operates, right? Which is like, you know, they have like a whole bunch of math geniuses sitting together and, you know, they have this very proprietary algorithmic trading sort of thing built in together. I don't know if you know guys know this, but there was 2 years ago there was this whole thing of DPRK agents, right, sitting in multiple crypto protocols, right, and you would see crypto protocols getting hacked left, right, and center, right. I wouldn't be surprised today if you have guys sitting in with Jane's who are working with Jane Street, similar to this, working with some major companies, right, as interns or developers or analysts. I wouldn't be surprised. And I think that is how Jane Street has been sort of fronting the market. So just recently, if you guys have heard of the 10 a.m. Slam, right? The narrative that's going on since the last 2 years, 2025 and probably 2025, 2026 also. Every time 10 a.m. in the morning, you know, a BTC sort of dumps down. And uska jo major player hai at this point in time, you know, the guys who are basically liquidating the most during those hours are Jane Street guys. And what is happening is initially तो ये it was just like a coincidence के market खुलती है और market dump होती है and लोगों को लगा था कि यार this is a usual way के शुरू जैसे ही खुलती है market तो आधे घंटे 45 minutes का dump होता है उसके बाद market वापस ऊपर आती है. But data shows that 60% of the time, every time the market opened, you know, it did take a dump. And that dump was basically eating up the liquidity that was built the day before. तो होता क्या market dump होती है लोग बोलते हैं हाँ आज dump हो गई and they start putting in market buy and they start buying at low volume. What you end up doing is becoming the exit liquidity for these guys. दूसरे दिन सुबह they liquidate everything in longs that are placed in वो खा जाते हैं सारा and then eventually of course because they are and the funny thing is because they are such algorithmic traders right so inko to cash them down and to sort of pinpoint exact trading locations is also very difficult for these guys. If एकदम आप इसको एक जगह centralized trading नहीं कर रहे हैं, which is why it becomes extremely dangerous. So, and I don't know अब आगे किस तरह चलेगा because right now if you see what they're saying is they did not have any idea. There was no communication between them or Docoin, the secret or जो group chat है insider trading. That's all false. It's allegation, and I'm sure they're going to come up with ways which they're going to say, "Okay, yeah, we predicted that this is going to happen, and because we've been in the market, because we are math analysts, we are these geniuses, we predicted that this was going to happen. So we're basically making money because of our predictions of forecasting."
Got it. Yeah. Realist यार एक और interesting चीज थी कि obviously these guys were operating in India as well, right? And
Yeah,
as you've spoken like multiple times in the past, कि India में derivatives trading जो है is like one of the biggest options की जो trading होती है वो दुनिया में इतनी नहीं होती जितनी इंडिया में होती है. It's
correct.
like crazy high, right? So these guys were doing some manipulation there also जब पे उनको सेबी ban भी लगा. So what was that all about?
Yeah, so SEBI, so Jane Street, yeah, I mean, they've been doing this, I think, all across the globe, and some regulator or the other probably has some grudge against them in some part of the world, and I think that's what their legal team is probably involved with. But India में भी यही हुआ था that you can't really call it illegal what they did, but yeah, just to set the premise, SEBI, I think, instituted a ban on them, and then they said कि till the lawsuit gets settled, you have to deposit about 500 odd mil in an escrow account and $500 million, right, in an escrow account till this entire thing gets resolved. And what were they doing effectively for a long period of time? They would effectively, right up in the morning, they would get up. So Indian markets open at 9:15. It's when pre-market opens, or I think, yeah, it's 9:15 when it opens, right? So 9 o'clock pre-market, 9:15, they would sort of get up and immediately start buying up the index stocks, right? Because options ka sabse liquid market is the main index, which is the Nifty 50. So which is why every option trader sort of trades that market. तो वो लोग क्या करते थे, उसके heavy hitters को खरीद लेते थे. जैसे कोई भी index में you will probably find that 5 to 7, 8 odd companies are the ones which probably move. They have the maximum amount of weightage in that index. If you buy them, you can sort of, or if you sell them, you can move the market or the index in a particular direction, obviously with size. So they would go and buy them. And at the same time, they would go and buy put options as well, right? Now, अब ये करते क्या थे, एंड ऑफ द डे पे जाके इतना सारा माल खरीद लिया उन्होंने सुबह से लेके, राइट, एंड अब उसको जाके डंप कर देते थे वो, राइट. एंड जब आप डंप करते हो तो ऑब्वियसली अब इंडेक्स का सबसे हैवी वेट्स आपने खरीद लिया या इंडेक्स आपने खरीद लिया, उसको इतने भारी वॉल्यूम पे डंप कर रहे हो, the market starts tanking. They obviously take a bit of a notional loss there, but their put options become massively in the money, and then they rake in a lot of profits from there. See, technically what they're doing is not illegal, because when you're going long on the market using a future, because perps तो होते नहीं है normal markets में, तो if you're going long on the market with a future or maybe delivery, right, or maybe intraday margin, right, and you're sort of trading, a put option is essentially insurance on it. You're effectively hedged against that position. So what they've done is not illegal, but हाँ ये बार बार कर रहे थे. And जैसा मैंने कई बार बोला that Indian regulators are sick and tired of the Indian population driving their money into trading. तो क्या करते हैं ना वो, तो उसको रोक रहे हैं वो. They are making trading extremely difficult. They are increasing margin requirements. They are increasing taxation. They are increasing other charges that are levied. So the margins become thinner and thinner for the retail guy, and he effectively can't enter. That's what, because they want them to do productive things. So otherwise you can't beat a China, right? Because China became a China because their stock markets didn't go anywhere. Japan became a Japan because their stock markets didn't move for decades. Because other, like when you're investing in markets, right, you're effectively, that's unproductive capital, right? That's not productive capital. So I think Indian regulators are anyway focused in that direction. And yeah, Jane Street is pissed, but yeah, by the end of the day, one can argue that the kind of trades that they were taking were extremely anti-retail, and retail was getting crushed because वो अब आओ सुबह आओ $100 million का खरीद लो, साथ में पुट ऑप्शन ले लो और $100 million का माल बेचो, गिरना ही गिरना है. और वो रिटेल क्या करती है, ऑप्शन सबसे ज्यादा ट्रेडेबल इसलिए बिकॉज ₹10 का ऑप्शन खरीद लिया, ₹10 से आप ₹1000 बना दोगे. It's like a lottery ticket. But 90% of them go to zero, which is why retail loses money. And in this situation, they lose money because if somebody's buying the put, somebody's buying a call, the call will go for a toss. So that's how they were effectively making money. And yeah, SEBI decided to do something, but let's see. I don't think that case has been adjudicated yet, but हाँ, 500 million, उन्होंने कमाए होंगे billions, $500 million रख दिए उन्होंने, रख लो यार इसको, में क्या फर्क
पड़ता है? Like a slap on the wrist again, like, you know, 10 billion, 500 million.
Yeah,
it wasn't even a ban. Basically, it was an interim ban. Basically, पैसे डालो और अपना काम करते रहो. They wanted to basically have some sort of insurance in the blade. That's it.
Correct. तो अब and इसमें भी क्या है, ये जो रेगुलेटर ने पैसे लिए, ये रेगुलेटर ने जाके रिटेल को बांट थोड़ी दी, रेगुलेटर ने अपने पास रखी है.
अपने पास रखे हो, exactly. Exactly.
तो जेम्स
And to
रीड
be
ने बोला
honest,
रख
like
लो
you
यार कोई
said,
बात नहीं, वी मेड $2-3 billion, रख लो यार 5 billion 500 मिल, कोई बात नहीं, बना लेंगे हम. And
Cost
we
of
कौन
doing
नहीं
they
business.
are anyway anonymous, right? They're still probably trading. Nobody knows. They're anyway anonymous.
एग्जैक्ट मैं वही तो बोल रहा हूँ कि दे आर anonymous, they have so many trading desks across the world कि you can't
Yeah,
really pinpoint exactly where they're trading from, who's trading, कहाँ से
correct,
पैसा आ रहा है, you can't track them down.
गॉट इट.
But even ये जो
तो
lawsuit में जो बोला है कि उन लोग के wallet से था, is that confirmed? ये even that speculation जो Terra-Luna
I
में जो
think
wallet
A, it's speculation, but B, at least I mean, in the world of blockchain, I think you can still sort of track it
या
because क्या है ना कि किसी ने गलती से कभी
pattern.
बोल दिया कि हाँ मैंने ये खरीदा है, तो उससे ना वो टैग हो जाता है, वो फॉरएवर वो वॉलेट तुम्हारे नाम पे टैग हो जाता है. यू कांट एस्केप दैट नो मैटर वेयर यू मूव
या
दैट मनी टू. तो आई एम गेसिंग शायद पता ही होगा, बट यू
या
नेवर नो.
नहीं दे
Maybe Jane Street is the one that Mr. ZachXBT is probably alluding to. I don't know. I think day after tomorrow is
सनसनी
going to be
फैला
a day of five. Yeah, day of fireworks.
या एंड
I think
दैट्स दैट
वो तो Meteora के ऊपर लोग बोल रहे हैं कि he's probably going to go after
हाँ
Meteora.
हाँ exactly. हाँ मतलब I think पॉली मार्केट पे तो मीटियोरा ही चल रहा है अभी तो, but let's see.
There was one
trouble है
more
वो.
post today where this guy posted a screenshot that one of ZachXBT's wallets was basically betting positive on the Meteora on Poly Market.
वो ही वाज दैट वाज नॉट ट्रू. दैट मैंने भी देखा वो. दैट वाज नॉट ट्रू कि उसको यार जैक एक्सबीटी की आइडेंटिटी लोगों को नहीं मालूम, तो कहाँ से उसका वॉलेट ट्रैक कर लेंगे
Correct.
वो.
Oh,
वो
he's apparently
इंडिया
Indian.
में
Yeah.
बैठा है.
ओ रियली.
No,
Yeah.
he's not.
Yeah.
यार नहीं
What
देयर
I
इज
heard, he's a Austrian or something.
I think he's Indian.
साटोशी
His
Dude.
check his
नकामोटो
account is from India.
साटोशी का भाई
Yeah.
है वो, किसी को नहीं
He's
पता कौन
Indian,
है वो.
dude. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean,
ओके.
actually, in
या
actuality, yeah, nobody knows. But yeah, I
या
think he's
सो
Indian. But let's see.
जेन स्ट्रीट ने इंडिया वाले पूरे उससे आई थिंक दे मेड लाइक अ प्रॉफिट ऑफ $4 billion, राइट. एंड फॉर द ड्यूरेशन ऑफ द केस उनके जो कुछ अबाउट 4,800 crores के प्रॉफिट थे, इंडियन रेगुलेटर्स ने उसको अभी जब्त करके रखा हुआ है कि जब केस खत्म होगा तब देखो ये छोड़ेंगे ये हम. सो दैट इज
यार ये
आल्सो
जो
लाइक
4,800 करोड़ वो बोल रहे हैं ना जब्त करके रखा हुआ है, ये वो जब्त वाले पैसे नहीं है. That amount basically equates to that 570 million that Jane Street
नो
was
नो
supposed to put in. Check कर लो तुम.
इज इट.
It's basically, yes, it's
गॉट इट.
basically equal to the $570 million that they asked Jane Street के वो पैसे. It's just about how different channels sort of report it, but Jane Street ने खुद वो पैसे दिए because they said कि ये ban हटाएंगे तुम ये पैसे डालो. So they put that money in, वो ban हटा, and they're still trading now.
Got it. So we are exactly what does so are they like traders or are they market makers? यानी how does it like work? Because I'm sure कि वो लोग clients के पास कोई funds नहीं है, वो तो खुद के ही funds trade कर रहे हैं हर
Yeah, I
जगह.
mean, if you're making that kind of returns, it's like Rentec, right? Rentec never
Right.
took money from outside. I mean, they would just use their own funds, and every employee that they would hire, the selling point for that employee is now you can invest with Rentec. That was like the big selling point. You're not just working on the algorithms, you also you've been given this access card. It's like the ticket to the Willy Wonka factory, right? And you now have the chance to invest with Rentec. So they don't take outside money, and pretty much for Jane Street as well. क्यों लेंगे यार वो लोग? Why would they give
जरूरत ही नहीं
that kind
है.
of returns to somebody else? Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people believe that 3 to 5% generating 3 to 5% a month, 10% a month on your trading capital is a myth. But yeah, these people do that. I mean, like HFT firms do 3 to 5% on a dollar basis. Yeah, they take insane amounts of risk, but yeah, they do it.
Yeah, I mean most of these like algo trading firms जो है एक तो they are very secretive, बहुत ज़्यादा capital बाहर से लेते भी नहीं है वो, और
correct. It's mostly prop money.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it makes sense. So how, like, just in terms ki, are they like the biggest Wall Street firm, like, or there's someone bigger than them also? Like just in terms of like
From an HFT perspective, I think from a algo trading perspective, I think Rentec is still probably the biggest. Although I mean, Jim Simons is dead now, but yeah, I think whoever's sort of taking it forward, I think they're probably the largest. But yeah, Jane Street is definitely up there. And like Crypto Daddy said, there's no way to ascertain how large they are, right? Because there's not much that's known, and plus they're also trading crypto markets. And in crypto markets, yeah, some wallets are known, some wallets aren't. It's really hard to ascertain how large they are. But yeah, I mean, they're large enough to cause these shocks to the market. So I'm guessing they're large enough.
Yes.
They are like the anonymous of the trading world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, ये जो DPRK का बोल रहे थे, I mean, slightly off topic, but यूके में काफ़ी अरेस्ट हुई थी इसके ऊपर बिकॉज लेट्स से सपोज यू हायर अ रिमोट वर्कर, जो एचआर डिपार्टमेंट था, they were collaborating with anonymous people who were installing keyloggers in the laptops that were going to individuals. So you hire somebody on the way shipping supply chain में जो काम कर रहे हैं plus HR वो लोग backdoor access के साथ कर रहे थे and then employee के पास laptop पहुंच रहा था. So yeah.
Bro, it's just that. I've seen a very close encounter with the DPRK hackers with somebody who I knew who ran a protocol, right? Or usme there were guys who were hired. They were hired properly. The HR hired them with the right, expectations, and the guys did. And the guys actually worked with the protocol for 2.5, 3 years. And they were excellent employees, reporting on time, delivering what was asked by them, right? And then one fine day they get up and they screw the protocol, left, right, and center. And I remember that the protocol guys actually sort of tried to track them down. And when they went and they tried to, because your addresses diye the employees near the location offices, when they went there, it was basically a shadow building, no address, empty buildings, shadow addresses. So the DPRK, movement is so strong that I wouldn't be surprised if they have guys sitting in IBM or if they have guys sitting in all these major companies also right now. I mean, छोटी crypto companies में बैठे हुए तो these बड़े firms में तो there'll be like millions of them sitting out there.
Got it. And they're smart people, right? कि काम वाम भी अच्छा करते हैं. They
or they have to, right? Because if they have to sort of stick around for that right moment, they have to be great.
Yeah, and they're not going to play they don't play the short game. They are playing the very long game. मतलब वो 2-3 साल बैठे हुए कंपनीज में, proper spy game तो वही चला रहे हैं भाई.
Yeah. चलो भाई देखें आज और मार्केट में क्या हो रहा है. So IBM dropped about 13%, losing 31 billion in value as Anthropic claims Claude can read and modernize legacy COBOL code. ये crypto daddy, ये तेरा आज favorite था दिन में discussion. Yeah, he was going crazy about it.
Because this is interesting because हम थोड़े दिन पहले SaaS और इसके बारे में बात कर रहे थे कि AI जो है वो इनके लिए खतरा है. And now you have companies like IBM जो ये COBOL securities banks और major institutions को दे रहे हैं, right? COBOL code security दे रहे हैं, and they charge like millions out of these guys. And then you have somebody like Anthropic coming in and saying, yeah, you know what, we're going to do exactly the same thing, and it's going to be even faster, even better, and it's going to evolve with time, and it's going to be at the fraction of a price. So I mean, just think about it. The company, IBM has never taken a hit of such caliber in the last 25 years, right? I mean, 13% down in one day. It's a major hit for a company like IBM.
What is COBOL code exactly? Like, what does it mean?
Programming language from decades ago, I think.
Yeah. So these banking systems, right? They are still running on these very archaic programming languages. COBOL पे लिखी होती है वो सारी. And basically, उसमें, of course, they have security concerns because they're so old and messed up. So IBM, and I think there was one more company, I don't know, AMD करता है या there's one more other company that does that. They do this COBOL security check for these big institutions and banks. And the reason why they're doing that is because these institutions, इनके systems इतने बड़े हैं, इतने फैले हुए हैं कि for them to change now is almost sort of impossible. So they keep building on top of it. They keep building and building on top of it. So IBM basically does that security check on them, के backdoor entries ना हो and all of that, security threats now. So Anthropic का ये जो code है, you put it live, and basically what happens is it goes on, it checks your code, and it does it basically McAfee antivirus की तरह, it keeps checking over and over and over again कि कोई security threat ना हो, and it keeps updating itself as well. कि अगर कोई आती है तो उसको clean करता है, update करता है, and then starts working again. Which is why, and it's again at the fraction of the price. So that is why it becomes such a killer for IBM. And then today, Anthropic has a event where they're going to be announcing their additional product launches, right? And I don't know what more they're going to announce, because it's going to be a bloodbath if something like the same caliber happens in other industries in tech.
So it's a great way to take shot if you know what's happening.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh God.
You're sitting,
Oh boy. यानी cyber security वाले आज pump करने वाले हैं.
अरे If you
बोलते
know
हैं
that
इसमें,
COBOL
देख
से
ये
आने
दिल
वाला है,
दिल से निकली है, ये साइबर सिक्योरिटी वाले
अभी नहीं
स्पम
लेना,
करने वाले हैं.
अभी नहीं
Yes.
लेना, अभी मोमेंट चला गया. But
I
yeah,
mean, like,
COBOL programmers का average age जो है it's between 45 and 55. 10% of COBOL programmers retire every year.
so,
बाबा
so
आदम के टाइम से ये सब चल रहा है.
is it just COBOL कोड या और भी क्या बोलते हैं साइबर सिक्योरिटी सिस्टम्स जो है ये अब एंथ्रोपिक वाले ऐसा मॉडल लॉन्च कर रहे हैं कि इट कैन जस्ट लाइक
10 days
सारे
back, they
जितने भी
had, right, for cyber security related audits. I think CrowdStrike
Yeah,
ये सब.
they can anyway do that.
Yeah.
This is critical because this is like an outdated piece of code and there's a moat. And I think Dario has said that every 6 months he's anyway going to disrupt one incumbent sector. So anyone who thinks that, "Nahi, I am safe because yeah, AI revolution is here, but nothing's going to happen overnight."
Yeah.
Guess what? IBM
Yeah.
drops 15%. So yeah, I think things are going to just keep on increasing exponentially. So yeah, so this
Got
is
it.
one of those things. I mean, yeah, for cybersecurity, it's anyway being used. I think real-time monitoring and all AI does very, very well. But that's for like current prevalent code bases. This was an old, outdated one, which is these enterprise softwares which are installed in banks, and nobody wants to change them, right? तो उन्होंने बोला अगर सॉफ्टवेयर चेंज नहीं कर सकते तो उस कंपनी को ऑब्सोलीट बना देते जो
उसको maintain कर रही है।
सॉफ्टवेयर मेंटेन कर रही है।
यार आईबीएम की तो ऐसी बुरी लगी है कि सास भी गया, उनका सेल्स फोर्स भी जाएगा, उनका ये कोबोल वाला भी जाएगा.
I mean, like, and SaaS itself is, I mean, Satya Nadella is right, dude. SaaS is dead. Who uses a platform anymore? Who uses, I think we discussed this a couple of days back,
Yeah.
right? Who uses a one size fits all platform?
Yeah.
And B, who does things themselves? I mean, that's like so archaic, man. You just assign an agent to do stuff for you. I mean, you don't need, all you need is an operating system. You don't need a software anymore.
Anymore.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
चलो JP
By the way,
Morgan
ये
का
इस पे Anthropic पे एक और चीज है. I think we'll probably have to do a whole episode for Anthropic. There's also this whole war between them and the Pentagon going on.
Yes,
Anthropic
yes. Pete Hegseth actually called them to the Pentagon to say कि भाई you need to क्या बोलते हैं, our sort of thinking needs to converge and you guys need to start doing things our way, otherwise we'll take away your Pentagon
Wow.
contract. Yeah.
They're going to basically place them in the same bucket as Huawei if they don't comply. That's what the story is going on.
Of course.
Hmm.
ठीक है,
Pain.
तो good news for people living in the UAE. So JP Morgan has removed UAE from the emerging market bond indexes after the country exceeded the bank's wealth threshold for 3 consecutive years.
Yeah, now it's a developed market.
Yeah. So they yeah, अलग problem है ना यहाँ पे.
Rent बढ़ने वाला है.
ठीक है. Okay, yeah, obviously cybersecurity stocks have been crashing.
Yeah.
Ethereum Foundation will stake $70,000 ETH. So according to an official announcement,
$70,000, I think 70,000 ETH.
70,000.
Oh, 70,000.
70,000 ether.
Yeah, 70 worth about $128 million.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. क्या बात है? ETH, but
Uh,
भाई, how will they stake it? Validator पे 2 महीने की waiting है मेरे ख्याल से वैसे ही क्यू पे. Nobody wants to leave.
no, yeah.
जो
nobody
घुसे
wants
हुए
to
they don't want to leave. And घुसने की queue I think is about 2-3 months long. I think करेंगे क्या?
Yeah.
उनको भी लाइन में लगना पड़ेगा. बहुत लोग.
There's literally zero exit queue. Like literally zero exit queue.
Yeah, zero exit queue. Nobody wants to leave, dude. No one wants to leave.
By the way, on exit also, if you're unstaking ETH also, right, it takes about 3 to 4 weeks.
Just imagine. So yeah, I mean,
How much do you
and
need to
nobody
stake?
and nobody's pressed and no one's pressed the unstake button anyway. So they don't want to leave. If they are in, they're in. It's like that exclusive club. भाई मैं अभी जाना नहीं चाहता, मेरे को बैठे बैठे इस पे ब्याज मिल रहा है. I don't want to leave, dude.
मैंने अभी थोड़े दिन पहले एक बंदे को असिस्ट किया था अनस्टेक करने के लिए. He was like, हो क्यों नहीं रहा, उसने मेरा दिमाग खा दिया था. It took him like 3 weeks to get the ETH unstaked and the money back to his wallet. Nice.
Wow.
He should have just done it on Lido, right? So you can get liquid staking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he was not. So
Okay, which crypto company will ZachXBT expose? Like Crypto Daddy said, to पे already सट्टा चालू हो गया, nearly 3 million in bets. And
I think it's going to be like a world liberty or something यार, because यार
so
I don't know, एक
Meteora,
random crypto जैसे मीटियोरा करके क्या मिलेगा यार?
मुझे क्यों आई हैव अ डाउट कि ये रिपल भी हो सकता है बाय द वे
Ripple.
ऐसी रिपल भी हो
मैंने
सकता
मैंने
है
कल मैंने
I
मैंने कल
तो
बोल दिया था Ripple
yeah, he
कि
actually mentioned Ripple. And
yeah
हो भी सकता है because their only business is market making. They don't do anything else because
yeah
that's their only
yes
business. So yeah, I
आज
think could be.
आज during the day what were you telling realistic
and
कौन
yeah
हो सकता
I
है?
was
You were also like कि come World Liberty Financial, were you
Yeah, I
saying
think it could be because I mean you have that fellow right, Eric Trump deleting his
yeah,
tweets. I
deleting,
don't know man, like उसकी पढ़ी होगी अभी.
but you know what so उसकी जो tweet है Zach XBT की उसने बोला है one of the most profitable businesses in crypto and the
yeah
most
Could be
profitable
an
business
exchange.
right
Has
now
to be exchange.
it could be
has
so
to
it
be an
has to be
exchange.
either an exchange
Pump.con or exchange.
or
Pump fund.
USDC USDT
Yeah, पंप फन भी हो
I
सकता है,
don't
why
know
not?
बिकॉज मोस्ट प्रॉफिटेबल जो है वो आज के जमाने में ब्लॉकचेन पे तुम्हारा यूएसडीटी एंड यूएसडीसी है
हाँ बट यार यूएसडीटी का ना बिजनेस मॉडल बहुत क्लीन है, मतलब
Yeah,
आप समझ रहे हो,
आई नो
they don't have to give
आई एम
any
जस्ट
and
सेइंग
how will they do any front running, वो समझ नहीं आ रहा मुझे,
yeah,
like
yeah,
yeah I mean
so then if
till
not that
Mr.
then
XBT exposes it.
it has to be an exchange because he said it has to be something that is one of the most
Very
profitable
profit.
businesses
Correct. You're
yeah
right. You're right.
Hmm.
You're actually right. It
so
has to be an exchange. Exchange, pump dot fund. मतलब yeah, it has to be
yeah,
a DEX or a SEX.
it has to
yeah.
One
be
of the two.
yeah
Yeah.
Dev Starknet वालों ने एक ट्वीट डाली थी, I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah. Most profitable, so it's definitely not one of us.
Definitely not.
बेचारे
So, well, at least वो क्या बोला कि know thyself. So, yes. So yeah, dollar MSTR becomes the world's most shorted stock amid $7 billion BTC losses, and
Very
Michael,
interesting.
yeah, has surged to number one position globally for short interest. This comes
And
as
has to be right because there's so much of short interest built up on BTC.
industry.
It was but natural to have
oh
that
yes
short interest roll
exactly
over onto MSTR as well. I mean, it has to be equal, right? Yeah.
Equal, yeah.
The trade has to be the same. It doesn't have to be equal, but the directional trade has to be the same on both sides. Yeah.
और ये आखिरी न्यूज़ जो है स्पेशली फॉर नरकुंडी सुन के बहुत खुश हुआ, उसने मुझे भेजा था आज ये.
Okay.
So the New York Times found that dating for women in NYC is so brutal that some dating events are charging women $100 and men $0, and the attendance ratio is still 3:1 women to men. So yeah,
Very interesting. Where are all
New
the
York.
men?
where
they
are
don't
all
want
the
to
New
date.
Yorker
It's
men
it's so brutal that they don't want to
वो
date
वाइट
women.
कोडिंग कर रहे हैं.
well there is a
हाँ, ये
reason
white
right
coding probably.
because
Yeah.
no bro उधर
They're
men है ही
locked in.
नहीं वो आधे तो दे दे मुंह में
Oh yeah.
क्या हुआ है?
दे दे मुझे.
अच्छा.
उधर तो मेन की कमी इसीलिए हुई हुई है मेन के
Yeah,
पीछे पड़े हुए तो आई मीन
yeah. All right. If anyone has anything else to add, नरकुंडी तो बहुत चुप है, प्लीज कुछ बोल रहे आज.
Somebody 7892 on Instagram is asking, when will gold go up?
When will gold go up? Yeah.
Oh,
वेरी
Well,
इंटरेस्टिंग
as long as there's chaos,
what?
जा सकता है.
When will it's I love
It's
taking
already
this question.
up,
So
but
अरे
yeah,
क्या बोल रहा है?
but this is
2x
a
number.
good time to build your position. I mean, the gold trade is definitely not over. The commodities
Yeah.
trade is not over yet.
got it.
या
मुझे तो ये लगता
All
है
right.
वॉर होते रहेगी. इंटरेस्ट रेट का
Yeah,
पता
so
नहीं.
much uncertainty.
न्यू
अभी क्या
फेड
चल रहा है
चेयरमैन है.
No,
पता नहीं.
irrespective, like I said,
tariff
yeah,
discussion.
screw the uncertainty, screw everything, because यार uncertainty अभी इतना है बाजार में, तभी तो gold नीचे जा रहा है. Because see, narrative will follow price. Now that price has risen, now narrative has come, retail has come in looking at this, which is why gold is down, right? But it's forming a base. Again, it's going to become neglected, and then I think we should have another move. I think the commodities rally is not over yet. There's still legs left in it,
Got it. All
and
right.
simply because of under ownership.
Got it. All right. Please like, share, subscribe, and turn your notifications on, and leave some comments for Narkundi. We'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you so much for
Done.
joining us. Good night.
चलो भाई.
Adios.
Adios.